Hello folks, in this session let us go over omnichannel use case flow for accessing protected enterprise resources. Prerequisites. In order to navigate to this flow, user should have already registered to self-services demo application. Kindly refer to relevant registration video in the login page. After successful sign-in, user will be landed in a self-services demo application dashboard page where user may select omnichannel button for accessing omnichannel use case flow. Let me log into the application now. As I mentioned, after successful sign-in, I'll be getting into the dashboard page where I can select the omni-channel use case flow. Before we dive into the demo flow, I want to go over the use case and set relevant context for this demo. In this use case, we have a web application that is being protected by existing SiteMinder infrastructure. User authentication for the application access is going through an auth schema where Authentication Hub has been configured as a provider. Once inside the application, user may access cloud deployed applications. In this scenario, it will be SalesForce Instant Bot. Single sign-on is established using SiteMinder session cookie without any friction. With that context being said, we have the use case broken into two segments, red and blue zone. That's what you're seeing here. This is the red zone and this is the blue zone. In the red zone, user clicks the omni-channel use case button, which is being protected by SiteMinder. Since this being the first time login and no valid SM session, it will launch a user sign-in page where SiteMinder acts as a relying party and it delegates the user to Authentication Hub. Upon successful user authentication, a valid SM session is being generated and sent back to the requested application. Landing page will display the user detail along with valid SM session cookie. Now, user may try to access the embedded SFDC instant bot at this point. But before that, let us get into the flow by clicking Omni-Channel Flow button, which, as I said, there is no valid session, so it's a protected application, so it is requesting me to sign in. Upon successful sign-in, as I mentioned, in the landing page, you will be seeing all the head information of the user along with the valid session cookie that is being displayed here. At this point, as I mentioned, user may try to access the Einstein bot, SFDC Einstein bot. A single sign-on is being established by leveraging the existing session cookie without causing any friction to the user. That's what is happening now, where SalesForce is a relying party and SiteMinder as a provider establishes a single sign-on for already logged in authentication user. And in response of successful authentication, it issues ID token and access token. And you see it established a single sign-on, it knows the user. And now if I check the menu, you could see the user info, access token, ID token, and this also takes us to the blue zone. But before getting in, I want to show you the user information that has been retrieved as part of the session. Similarly, ID token and access token. Now, getting into the blue zone, where a user will go through the menu options which I showed you in the SFDC bot. User tries to access the gateway protected resources, say change address. In order to change address, user needs to gateway issued access token. We'll be seeing that flow now. I'm clicking the menu, and this is the change address, but in order to do the change address, I need the gateway issued access token. Here, in order to retrieve the gateway issued access token, identity propagation to gateway using ID token, where gateway uses the given ID token to exchange for an access token. where gateway accesses a relying party with the SiteMinder as a provider using jot bearer flow for this exchange. Once the gateway issued access token has been retrieved, now we user may change address. It authorizes gateway will validate incoming gateway issued access token, which will be in the header. Upon successful validation, it authorizes the access to the protected resources based on the audience as well as the scope that has been um, in the access token that was issued in the gateway. Upon successful completion of change address, user may decide to close the chatbot and also log out from the application, which will invalidate the SiteMinder session along with the issued tokens. This ensures a single log off scenario for that user across all the application in the enterprise. I am confirming the end, closing the chat. Now I am also logging out from the application. Now it takes me back to the OMNI channel. If I try to log in back, it will ask, since there is no valid session, is asking me to log in again. With this particular use case is complete. That's all folks for this session. Thanks and see you again.